If you get yo, what's up, guys? What is going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. France versus Holland. So many sitters, so many opportunities missed in this game, most notably from Griezmann. So many opportunities. My God. Let me tell you something. Like, I think if this guy was donning the Athletic Madrid jersey, one of those, at least one of those, from what I've seen him play this season, one of those would have gone in. Because what the hell, like Griezmann doesn't miss those sitters, especially the N'Golo Kante one. That should have gone to the upper 90. That should have gone to the lower first post. Definitely should have been a goal. I don't know. I don't know what's going on now. The question is, are they heavily reliant on Mbappe? I hate to admit it, but yes, yes they are. This game showed that they are, and that they need him in the next game. Absolutely. And they're going to need him in every game. Because France, I mean, everybody, like I said, I mentioned Griezmann. Thuram had a couple of shots, and Dembele also couldn't do anything. And Rabiot, my God, Rabiot had that one opportunity also. So, yes, they are. And what's funny is that, except the last game that I've seen Kylian Mbappe play, which he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in the sense that he was involved, because that's the problem. That's the problem I have with Mbappe. Mbappe doesn't really participate much in these games, and whether it be for France or PSG. But I will admit that the man managed to somehow put his name to the scoreboard. Somehow he ends up scoring a goal or two. So that's what this game is about, and that's what this game needed. Absolutely needed his signature there on the scoreboard, and it looks like they do need him. Unfortunately, I hate to admit it, because it's true, because I felt that they played good enough to be able to win this game. Right? They didn't play exceptionally well. I don't think neither teams did, but France was obviously the more dominant one, and they just couldn't make things happen. They just couldn't score, plain and simple. They just couldn't score. I mean, they started from the beginning with what's his name, Griezmann. Griezmann had a really, really good shot from right around the edge of the 16-yard box. That was the warning right there. That was a warning. I don't know if it was a deflection, but the Dutch keeper Verbruggen was able to get a hand to it, and then after that, the enormous screw up, if you want to call it, and that was more Rabiot's fault than it was Griezmann's fault. Manages really good gameplay, the little heel flick from Thuram, Rabiot, which Rabiot started. Rabiot gets the ball back, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, I think he just said, if I want France to win, if this ball's going to go in the back of the net, it's more than likely going to go in because of Griezmann. I think that's what was on his mind, because he's just a lack of not believing in himself. I don't know. I don't know why he did that. That was the strangest thing. I think anybody else on the field, Koundé, Mike Mignon, what's his name, Deschamps, like anybody, the physio, anybody else would have shot that ball. Anybody else would have taken the kick. At that point, you can't really blame Griezmann, because by the time he got the ball, it was just back behind him, and it was just a very unorthodox position for him to turn around or spin around, I don't know, and be able to strike the ball. So that was the second one for France. Again, not so much Griezmann. And then within that same play, France get the ball back, because it was a clearance, I think, or the Netherlands were trying to transition, and they lost the ball. And then N'Golo Kante with a perfect center to Griezmann. And I'm telling you, if he was wearing an Athletic Madrid jersey, that would have gone in, because there was nobody on top of Griezmann. He had all the time in the world, and he took his time. You could tell he did it kind of almost in slow motion, and sends it out wide, sends the ball out wide. And then after that, once again, N'Golo Kante with the pass. Now, that one was a little bit tricky, just because the way in which he struck the ball when he passed it to Griezmann had a little bit of a bounce. And by then, the Dutch defenders were closing in. And I thought that somebody was going to intercept that ball. I thought somebody was going to just clear it out. And it ended up going to Griezmann. And I think Griezmann never expected that ball to reach him, because by the time it did, he just kind of like lost his balance and wasn't able to do much with it. I think he even fell over. So those were big opportunities for France. And then Thuram had a big opportunity where De Vrij was trying to play the offside and ends up playing him onside. And Thuram just wasted a huge opportunity sending it outside, having nobody on him. I mean, obviously the defenders were closing in on him, but should have done better. Should have done way better there. And there were other shots, obviously, that he took, and then Dembele also took. Holland had their chance right at the beginning, the first minute, with Frimpong. I think it was a mistake by Theo Hernandez that ended up pretty much passing it to Xavi Simons. And then Xavi Simons puts it right in the path of Frimpong, and thanks to that speed of his, he was able to beat Theo Hernandez at first, but then Theo Hernandez ends up catching up to him, enough just to kind of like be a little bit of a nuisance and put him off balance a little bit and close the angle. And Mike Maignan makes a really good save. save. And then after that, Gakpo, which wasn't really participating in the game as much, managed to get one of his classic take-ons, cuts in, and manages to hit the ball from long distance, and Mac Maignan with the save. And then after that, the goal that was invalidated. Yes, I didn't even see Dumfries. I was also complaining. I was like, what are we doing here? What are we complaining about? What are we nitpicking over here? But yes, that was an interference, and that was an offside, unfortunately. As for Holland, I mean, what do you expect? Someone like Xavi Simons is being called up to the national team. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. That kid does not belong in the national team. The only reason, once more, the only reason why he's playing is because Holland isn't producing big players. I'm sure Cruyff is rolling over his grave. I'm sure Ruud Gullit is just shaking his head alongside Van Basten, alongside Frank Rijkaard. What the hell? Did absolutely nothing. I mean, he gave a pass, kind of a pass, to what's his name, Depay, who was trying to get a penalty, and there was obviously no penalty there from Saliba. Saliba wasn't even holding him. And that's it. He was lost. He was completely lost this whole game, except for that strike. That was a bona fide, legitimate, really good strike from Xavi Simons, but that's it. That's all he did. That's all he did the entire game, and obviously he was subbed. Same thing for Depay, really. I mean, what can he do all by himself up there? Gakpo wasn't having a good night, and both teams were giving the ball away a lot through the middle at the beginning. At the beginning, I saw N'Golo Kante being perhaps the only one that was accurate when he had the ball, but after that, even he was kind of making mistakes towards the end. It almost seemed like both these teams wanted the game to end up in a draw and just end already. It was just very sloppy. It got a little bit stagnant at times, and just a difficult match. And I kind of expected that, especially for Holland, but not for France. And then given the chances that they had, they could have changed the cadence of this game had they only scored, had France only scored the many opportunities that they had. So it ain't that bad of a result for both of them, but it could have been better. Definitely France could have done a lot better, and it seems that they do need Mbappe for the next game. But that also could change. They get Mbappe the next game, and Mbappe doesn't do anything, and maybe he doesn't even score, like before. But I feel that this new Mbappe that's playing for France, he seems like he's very, very much plugged in. He's very alert and ready to take on these Euros. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Tschüss.